welcome to another exciting episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown for the week of January 29th, 2018. It is our last breakdown for the month of January. My name is Trey, this is the Full Spectrum, and let's get started. So we start off this week with the Promised Neverland 72 Call. Beautiful color spread, by the way. But yeah, we find out some great stuff about William Minerva, named James Rattray is his real name. William Minerva is a title. A descendant of this clan who made the promise that this elevator was an escape back to the human world. It was an exit. But Rattray was betrayed. We also find out that he wanted to atone for seeing all those people having to be fed to the demons basically all the time. Also, there are paths to cross over at the 4 big farms. Like, I expected Promised Neverland still had probably like another 300 chapters or so to go. But finding that out, that the goal to go back and get the others coincides with the goal to get out of here, the story could be over a lot sooner than I thought. I don't think it's going to end that quickly, but man. Also, we find out the search for the 7 walls. Mujika told that to Emma. That was what she told her. And that's probably the path that we're going to wind up taking, is the 7 walls. Which will probably take us straight to Demon Country, like to their home base probably. To their kingdom. But Rattray wishes them good luck on this recording, and it's actually really sad that he knows he's going to get caught, he knows he's going to die, and that all he can do is leave behind this call to try and help them. You also get that Lucas wants everybody else to get away, but that he still wants his revenge. Have Marvine's bed holding the key. I have a really bad feeling about when they open that drawer. It's probably going to be empty. Somebody's probably already taken what was in there. I guess there's possibility it's a trap, but I really don't think Rattray would do that after what we already found out about him. I don't know, it felt a little weird. Maybe the guy who betrayed him put something in there. It just feels like there's something in there that's not going to be good, and it's probably just going to be empty, honestly. But, yeah, this was a really solid chapter. Finding out that, and I saw some people being like, well, of course there's elevators at the 4 big farms. It's all going to come back home. It's like, no, it makes perfect sense, because the people that they're getting, like, there are scientists at the farms, and there are sisters, moms, mothers, sisters, whatever you want to call them, at the farms. They're coming from the human world, right? They're being sent over by this clan that James Rattray is a part of, or was a part of. Like, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, this was a unbelievably shocking chapter with the things that it revealed that now, of course, that we've seen them make perfect sense, which is what the Promised Neverland is so good at. But I'm very much looking forward to the next chapter. This was really good. Next up, we have One Piece 892, Threat Confirmed. So we get to see the Tontatis Usopp ship in the cover story. That's pretty good. Sanji swaying while calling out to Nami and Capone congratulating them on surviving. That was pretty good. I liked that Capone was calling that out. He still wants to kill Big Mom. But at least now he's promised to wait until after she's eaten the cake. Honestly, she'll probably be easier to kill then, because she'll be, like, sated and tired from her rampage and everything. I feel like the Fire Truck Pirates are not going to make it out of this, though. I think that whether they kill Big Mom or not, though I don't think they will, whether they kill her or not, I don't think they're making it out of this okay. I think something bad is going to happen to them. I don't want it to, because I really like Capone and the Fire Truck Pirates now. When I first saw them, I was like, well, here we go. But now that, like, we've spent some time with them, I'm like, man, I really care about these characters. I like them a lot. But I don't see them making it too much longer if they continue with this Big Mom murder plan. Giving Sanji a ride to the Thousand Sunny, that was pretty cool. Trying to get there fast enough that nobody saw her. Capone heading for Liquor Island, and you see, like, Parasparrow is after him, and Smoothie and her crew are going after the Sunny, and the ship, when Sanji gets there, is in really bad shape. Frankie's not going to be happy. There's this really cool moment where Nami hugs Sanji, and it's a very honest hug from her. She was worried that he wouldn't come back to the crew. She was honestly concerned. And Brooke hugs him too. Like, she wasn't the only one worried. They were all worried. But she honestly thought for a moment he wouldn't come back. And she's very clearly upset by that. She's got tears in her eyes. And of course, when Sanji sees him, he's immediately like, I love you too, Nami. And she zips away before he can hug her. But that was a more human scene than I expect. I expected Nami to just be like, you idiot, of course you're back. And then look away, because that's something that Nami's very good at. But we got to see her actual feelings there for a minute. And I'm sure all of the Sanji and Nami shippers got super happy at that. I'm completely ambivalent myself. For those two characters, it doesn't matter. But to me, at all, which one, if any. I don't expect a lot of romance in One Piece, so I don't really shoot for it. That said, I'm sure that was something for them that was nice. I thought it was really good character development from Nami, for sure. To see her actually being worried and to actually react to that. Don't know how Pudding felt about that hug and Sanji's declaration. We don't get to see that at all. That's going to turn out interesting, because Pudding might go yandere on him. But Sanji asks about Pedro. And Brook lies. Brook tells him he's resting for now with Carrot. They're both resting right now. Brook, I'm sure, didn't want to take away from the joy of this moment, but it's a little interesting that Brook lied. I saw some people being like, see, Pedro is okay. Like, no, it's not. Straw Hats definitely think Pedro's dead. Brook was just trying to save Sanji's feelings there, because Sanji would probably feel like it was his fault that Pedro was dead, because Pedro died in coming to save him. And we all know that that's where Pedro wanted to die. That Pedro wanted to be able to further the Straw Hat crew, but also to get back to everything with Big Mom and the debt that was owed there, and be able to come back and take revenge, and that's just what he's been wanting for a while, you know? And I absolutely understand why Brook did it. I feel like that was the best time to lie about that, and we're obviously going to get the actual reveal later, and Sanji's probably going to be upset. But it's the way it is. Pedro's dead. He needs to stay dead. Please, Oda. Please, Oda. Let him stay dead. We get to see Oven's plan to have only one working mirror on the island. It's pretty clever. So Luffy will have to come out of there. And then we get to see Luffy fighting Katakuri still, honing in on the color of observation that Katakuri has. And he sees something that distracts him. I don't know if it was... The panel is a little... What's the right word? It could be taken in multiple ways. It could be... I saw some people talking about how it was that his leg gave out and he was surprised by that. I took it instead to be that Luffy saw something coming even further and was surprised by that, and that led him to take the hit from Katakuri. But, I don't know. We'll see. He took a really bad hit. So if Luffy's going to pull this one out, he needs to do it soon, because he's getting a really bad time here. Next up, we have My Hero Academia 168, The Strange Tale of Aoyama. Deku knows that Aoyama is creeping, and he finds a hidden message in cheese reading, I know! We find out from... It's super creepy, by the way. No one should ever leave a hidden message of cheese underneath somebody's bed. That's not okay. We find out that Mount Lady is teaming up with Edshot and Kamui Woods, which gets Mina talking about team-ups. And she wants to start Team Rainy Day. Kirishima's working even harder on his Unbreakable skill. Mina gets impressed by that. But Deku wants to work on his alone, which is fine. He's upset that his moves haven't shown as much forward momentum. Feels like he wasn't as strong as he needed to be, that if he'd been able to use his full cowl, or even more than just 40%, if he'd been able to use more than that, that things with Shisaki might have been different. And I'm sure at some level he blames himself for Night Eye's death. Aoyama calls Deku's attention and shows him his new move, then carves Still Waters Run Deep into a rock. I mean, that's really cool. That's a cool use of his powers. He gives himself a stomachache immediately. So Deku takes this opportunity to pull him aside and, ask him what's going on. And he tells him that he saw in Midoriya a kindred spirit. Someone whose quirk isn't well suited for their body. And the fact that it's not that he's creeping on Midoriya because he wants to, own him, or because he wants to be like him, or because he's a stalker, or any of those things. The fact that he just wanted to be his friend and has a really weird way of showing it, like, I really like that. It makes Aoyama so much more interesting. And so when Deku then says that he became friends with Aoyama. He made that decision and thanks him for his help. We get to see Aoyama in the next panel that we see him, being friendly, just one arm up in the air, holding out some snacks. It's like, yeah, this is... Hold on. Sorry. Like, yeah, this is Aoyama how he really is, and now he can be open with Izuku because they're friends. And I really like that. I wish we had got a little bit more time to spend with the stuff with Midoriya and how he feels about his powers, but I'm sure we'll go into those next chapter. For now, it's just nice to see that Aoyama is not the traitor. I actually thought this, I didn't think he was in the first place, as we talked about, but I didn't think this little mini arc about Aoyama would just be 2 chapters. I kind of thought it would be like 4 over the course of other things happening, but it's fine. We'll move past it. We're through it already, and Izuku's got a good new friend. He does. It's all good. I don't know what that voice was, and I'm so sorry, Internet. Next up, we have Hunter x Hunter 371 Mission. Man, Hunter x Hunter's back. And normally I'd be like, woo! But right now I'm just like, oh man, this arc is killing me. Like, it's tense, and it's cool that it's tense, but I don't care about any of the princes, really. Or princesses, or any of them. I don't care about almost any of them. The only one so far that's been relatively interesting to me is the first prince, the 4th prince, the 3rd prince, and the 7th prince. Those were pretty interesting. Everybody else I don't care about. This chapter did a really good job of showing me more characters I do care about, and had some really cool stuff. Like, we get to see the maid, a non-Nin user, try to grapple with how Nin works, and how it makes sense, and what she can see and she can't see. And that was really cool. And we got to see the maid and the queen, like, having a conversation, and everything was great there. Kurapika has an idea on how the Nin beasts work, and the requirements to keep them here, and that if just one of the princes withdrew, would the Nin beasts also be withdrawn? I just don't care about these princes, and that's my biggest issue, is that I get that I'm supposed to care, but it doesn't feel like Togashi's done enough work to make me care. And maybe I just need to go back and reread. Maybe it's been a while. Maybe the start of the arc was great, and I would care. But right now, I'm just not feeling these characters. And so when Kurapika comes up with a system where the guards can learn Nin together, and it's based on how they grab their hands, and that's really cool to me, because everybody's individually different. Alexa, stop. Everybody's really individually different and cool, and that's awesome, and I love it. But at the same time, I don't care about these guards that much at all. I don't know, maybe I will. Let's be honest, I didn't care about the group of bodyguards that Kurapika teamed up with originally, and then just about all of them won me over. I know some of those characters are here too, so, it could win me over. We also go from there to the thugs blocking off the passageway on the 5th tier, and the Phantom Troop showing up, and the Phantom Troop is being the Phantom Troop, and they're super cool. And then they're talking about how they're going to find Hisoka, and that everybody in the troop wants to kill him, so nobody gets to call that one. That's really cool. That I'm interested in, and Kurapika I'm interested in, and the other bodyguards from before I'm interested in. That guy whose name I can never remember that immediately makes me think of Bang Shishigami from Blaze Blue, but that's not his name. That's all cool. We then cut to this panel of just Momose has become fuel for the Tree of Kaken, and it's just okay. Alright, this is a big villain moment, and this guy does not feel like a big villain to me. I get the point of it, it doesn't work for me right now. And granted, if you had asked me in middle of the Chimera Ant arc, how do you feel about these characters right now? I'd have been like, man, Neferpito's really cool. I don't know how I feel about everybody else. Don't know enough about them all yet. And that's where I'm at with these. It just feels like it's because the hiatuses are constantly happening. Feels like it's taking forever to find that information, and I'm losing interest in a lot of these characters. As long as the Phantom Troop's here and Kurapika's here, I'll keep reading for sure. I'm not going to stop. But I just wish we could pick up the pace a little bit. And it's tough. I get it. Togashi has to take these breaks. For health is very important. I would rather Togashi be healthy and not have Hunter x Hunter than have Hunter x Hunter and Togashi be killing himself. But we could speed the arc up a little bit. Just a bit. I'm not asking you to put out more chapters. I'm asking you to condense some of the chapters just a smidge. Just a little bit. We'll move on. Next up, we have We Never Learn 86. An elder is vividly X when an item is lost to the sea. We get to see Asumi and Yuiga taking some pictures for her dad, because he doesn't believe they're dating again, because they don't ever go and do anything together. So they go to the beach. That's a good cover, honestly. And they get to hang out at the beach. That's nice. Yuiga doesn't know where to look. That's a pretty good moment. Good old Yuiga, just trying to be a good boy. Trying to deal with his thoughts, with these girls always around him. Rogue Wave flips the boat. Asumi finds out Yuiga can't swim. That's pretty good. She loses her top, somehow. Not gonna ask. It's a harem series. Not gonna ask. Yuiga gives her a shirt, because, he's a nice guy. He's having a hard time with it, too, after he does. Because she's obviously wet. So is the shirt. There's a really good moment here where he distracts himself with formulas again, and she finds her bikini top and it's on the rocks, and some other swimmers come by, and so she turns around and grabs onto Yuiga so they can't see through the shirt, because obviously it's see-through now, because it's soaking wet. The recurring theme of Yuiga trying to use formulas to not be a pervert is great. I love that. Because most harem protagonists would just be like, ah! But Yuiga is over here trying desperately to distract himself, and it's very human. I appreciate that about his character. Also, you have the moment where Asumi is clinging to him, and she uses that excuse to check him out. Like, yeah, that's also very human. He grabs a hold of her back to try and cover up the fact that there's no strap back there, and, she tells him that that's a very bold move, and he tells her he's just playing his role, which makes her blush. They get her top back. Another one's tangled with it, and at first I thought this was just for a gag. And it is for a gag, but it's for a pretty good gag, it turns out. A dolphin steals it. Sure. Why not? Weird, crazy dolphin. Sure. You know what? I've believed weirder stuff. Sure. Asumi goes to work. And, she stops to tell Yuiga that he was pretty cool back there. He realizes that she took his shirt with her. And so he goes behind a rock to change. Doesn't have a shirt, but he'll just have to go back without one. Where he finds Kurisu, missing her top. Next chapter's gonna be real fun. Cause he's got no more clothes to offer her except for shorts, I guess. And, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if the dolphin's gonna show back up, and Yuiga's gonna have to, fight a dolphin, if he's just gonna go buy her something, and then he's gotta try and buy her something, and then maybe some of the other girls will show up while he's trying to buy it, and, he has to hide the fact that he's buying it, because he doesn't want them to know he's buying a girl's swimsuit, because that would make him look perverted. There's a lot of fun options that could go from this, and I don't know which one we're gonna get, but I'm very excited, especially since Best Girl's involved. So yeah, this is a fun chapter. Weird, but not as weird as it could have been. Next up, we have Food Wars 248. What the average feel. So this chapter's weird for me because this is Ishiki versus Tsukasa. This is the moment. This is the fight that we've been waiting for, and the theme is hair, which is interesting because it's not something that's often used in Japanese cuisine, which is what Ishiki excels at. but it's very often used in French cuisine, which is what Tsukasa excels at. So clearly he's got the upper hand here. This is a moment where we should be focusing on Ishiki's dish versus Tsukasa's dish, and focusing on Ishiki's skills. We spend a lot of this chapter focusing on Kinokuni, and I like Kinokuni Nene. I really do. I think she's a lot of fun. She's a really interesting character. She has a lot of quirks. She has a lot of issues, and she's trying to deal with them, and I really like that. Why are we dealing with these issues in the middle of the fight that we've been waiting for so long? I get that this resolution of her and Ishiki is very important for Ishiki's character. I absolutely understand that. But when we got through this whole chapter with Ishiki's dish being made and handed to the judges, Ishiki making wanmono, even though it's not recommended with hair, and, taking care of the gaminess and feeding it to the judges. The judges, end off the chapter by going, there's this flavor, and they're clearly about to reveal some big surprise about the flavor. But it was a quick chapter of Ishiki making his meal and giving it to the judges, and it just feels like, okay, well, while Ishiki is talking to Kinokuni Nene about her issues and her problems with him, which is still interesting stuff, don't get me wrong, Tsukasa's still cooking. And Tsukasa's gonna win this now. Before, I wasn't sure which way it would go. Now I'm 100% positive. I'm calling it right now. Tsukasa wins this, because this fight is not about Ishiki versus Tsukasa. This fight is about Ishiki proving that he does have talent, but that he also has drive. That's great. But he's gonna prove those things by losing to Tsukasa. I'm calling it right now, because the fight was not the focus of this chapter. The focus of this chapter was Kinokuni and her desire to prove to Ishiki that his talent, that he was able to master everything, wasn't enough. That talent alone wasn't what you needed, and that she was just as good as he was. And dealing with her sense of frustration from that, and that's great. I just wish it wasn't happening in the middle of this fight, because it tells me exactly who's going to win. I don't know. We'll get a flashback next chapter. We'll probably find out how the judges feel about the wanmono, and then at the end of the chapter, Tsukasa will finish cooking. And then the chapter after that will be Tsukasa winning. Calling it right now. I could be surprised, I could be wrong, but I'm calling it right now. Hold me to it, viewers. Hold me to it. Next up, we have Bozebeats 3, Tokyo Beltway, Full Throttle. This is the last chapter of Bozebeats we're going to get in Weekly Shonen Jump. And it unfortunately did the one thing I was afraid it was going to do, and we now have a third Chimmy fight, which means we're probably going to start getting Chimmy fights every chapter. And maybe the author just did that for the first 3 because they were going to be in Jump, and maybe after that they won't. But as it is right now, I don't know that I'm going to keep reading Bozebeats. I've kept up on Full Drive. I've kept up on... Oh boy, there was another jump start that I kept up on. Golem Hearts, but I've not kept up on some of the others, and I'm afraid Bozebeats is probably going to fall into that camp. Tamaki is impertinent as ever. He's amazed by the city. Hagakure tells him about the Hyakyako, the night parade of 100 demons. That's great. I love the Hyakyako. Hyakyako is one of my favorite myths when it comes to Japanese demons. And in Japanese mythology, the Hyakyako and the Narikyon who leads them, that's one of my favorite stories. Why are the Hyakyako led by... I'm just going to keep tripping over the word now that I think about it for some reason. Why are they being led by a giant dragon? I mean, I guess Narikyon could be a giant dragon, I suppose. But, sure, why not? I'm not going to get upset about it. It just felt a little weird. And then we get the weird moment where Tamaki thinks not only has he seen that dragon before, but seeing that dragon makes it feel like he's coming home, which tells me that there's a demon inside Tamaki, a Chimmy, and it's maybe fused with his soul or something, and maybe it's a smaller version of that dragon, and when Ryudaiji sealed it, he wasn't able to seal it completely, and the dragon's just waiting for the part that is in Tamaki to get back. I don't know. That's just what I immediately thought about. We'll find out, I suppose. There's one Yudo on the Beltway. They flip the bike, which Tamaki uses as a springboard to punch one of the one Yudo in the face and destroy it. And the other three are taken out by a Bose Samurai. He's here to collect Tamaki and Hagakure. Again, it felt a little weird having these Wanyodo show up just at the end of the chapter. I get that the point was supposed to be that, like, hey, yeah, the Chibi are everywhere, and they're a huge threat. But when you have them introduced every chapter and then taken out every chapter, they don't feel like a huge threat. Especially since, as of yet, we haven't actually seen them kill anyone other than Mama Wolf. They don't feel like a huge threat at all. I mean, yeah, the octopus blew up like that jet engine, and that could have killed a lot of people if they hadn't stopped it. But the one Yudo were kind of just rolling down the street, spitting on people. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep up with Bozebeats for a couple more chapters, give it a little bit more, and see if there's going to be a fight every chapter, and if they're going to be just as almost said worthless. It wasn't worthless. We got to see Tamaki could get tired. But if all the fights are going to be as irrelevant to the storyline, I suppose, as this one here was, and I get it, it was supposed to show off this Bose Samurai, but why not have something super cool attack and, like, destroy some cars, and then have the samurai show up, so we can be like, man, these things are a real threat in this city, and they're hiding everywhere, Hagakure said? Man, this is going to be crazy. Whereas instead, we just see these Wanyodo kind of playing around, and then they just cut to pieces. I don't know, it just felt a little weird. I'll move on. Next up, we have Black Clover 142, Twilight. Valto shows back up, saying they have what they came here for, and the three leave. Ghosh wants the house back to normal. Henry tells him he might not be able to do it. And then we're gone. We leave Henry and Gordon and Gray behind, with Ghosh complaining about how he's afraid his figures of his sister are broken, Gordon asking Henry to be his friend, and Gray realizing that she doesn't even have enough magic to transform right now. And it's a shame, because I really liked all four of these characters. These were good characters, and I'm afraid we're probably not going to see them again for a while. We'll probably come back to them in like 6 months. And then the focus hard switches over to Vengeance, Captain Vengeance. So much so that I thought I had whiplash for a second there. Just, woof, okay, we're on a new, alright, well let's focus on this then. With Yami waiting for him and talking about how he trusts, or thinking about how he trusts Vengeance. And then we find out that Vengeance is sharing a body with Licht, who now stands before Julius Novachrono. We knew it was somebody in the Golden Dawn. We knew it was too big of a thing for it to be Federal's brother. Why are they sharing a body? Why? Why couldn't it have just been that Licht had, like, imbued the helmet with magic and was seeing through William's eyes? Why did they have to be sharing the same body? Julius thinks about how he didn't want it to be this way. So remember when we first started talking about how there was a traitor, and how that person was very high up, and how Vengeance was the only one who wore a mask. And then we got the panel that was like, it's not Vengeance, his mask covers a scar he got. And it was like, okay, sure. That was a bait and switch for the fans. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a bait and switch. We all called it right the first time when we said it was Vengeance. And this just feels like almost like a cop-out to that bait and switch of like, you thought it was Vengeance, I tricked you, it was a scar, but actually it was William Vengeance. It's like, why do they share a body? Why? Why? He could have been living in Vengeance's shadow. He could have been the Helmet. He could have been possessing Vengeance. They didn't have to share a body. How has Vengeance been sharing a body with the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, Licht himself, who apparently is super powerful, and Julius Novachrono, the Wizard King, did not know? Okay. We're gonna move on. Not happy with this review. I don't know if I made that clear or not. Very not happy with this review. This is probably the worst way for me that Licht could be introduced as having been hiding inside Vengeance, so that they share a body. That's literally the worst. If we come next chapter and we find out that Vengeance was like taking over his mind, and the body Licht was taking over his mind, and the body's always been Licht, and it was a split personality that he created to be able to infiltrate, I still won't like it, but at least I'll understand better. But right now it just feels like they're sharing a body for some reason. Next up we have Act Age 2, First Job. Kuriyama's turning down work to cultivate Kei. As the Yanagis have a family meeting, Kei runs to school because the family's deciding Kuriyama cannot be trusted, and she's kidnapped by Kuriyama, proving that he cannot be trusted. She tries to find him. Hiragi gets to see the van crash. She breaks up the fighting, though, because it's time to get to work. Kuriyama has brought her to, a commercial, and he pulls a commercial shoot, and he pulls the old Back to the Future strategy and talks her into it, because she falls for it. She really struggles at first with the trial, because she never cooked for her dad. But Kuriyama is able to get through to her by reminding her how she cooked for her siblings and things like that. And she's able to get into character, and she shoots it. And it turns out pretty good. And she remarks on how surprisingly pretty she is. Kuriyama tells her she's got a long way to go. Meanwhile, the kids Google Kuriyama and find out he's the real deal. So, I liked this chapter. I really did. I thought this was a really fun chapter. I thought seeing Kei's first struggle as not just first that she didn't trust Kuriyama at all, because who would? He was kind of being a creep in the way he was doing things, especially abducting her in that van. That's not the way you do things, Kuriyama. But also in that when she had nothing to pull on, she didn't even really try. It shows the weaknesses that she has and how far she still has to go, and I thought that was really fun. Once, of course, she was able to put herself in the role, she did a really good job. I really like the art in Act Age. I'm looking forward to more. After the next chapter, when it's no longer in Jump, after Chapter 3, I'll probably keep reading Act Age. We'll see how it goes. I may drop it if the chapters get too samey, but so far, I've really enjoyed it. Last up in the chapters for this week, we have Robot Laserbeam 42, Last Day of the Daizon Open, Part 8. Dorian starts out in the rough, Robo's in the bunker. We didn't really get to see either of those shots happen, but they did. It's the most difficult hole on the course, with a slope into the lake and a bunker. Dorian decides to go all out, thinking of the future, how badly he wants to beat Robo. And his shot is almost perfectly aimed, but he misses. It rolls into the water. There's a moment where he's breathing out. He's clearly disappointed, but he says that's just the way it is. He's not giving up yet, and I really respect that about Dorian. Even in an impossible situation, he doesn't want to give up. Everybody's like, well, now Robo can take his time. But no, Robo wants to aim for the pin, too. He unlocks his concentration, prepares the EX laser. He wants to show Dorian what he's really made of. This chapter was fine. I thought it did the job. It showed us a little bit more about Dorian's backstory. I'm just tired of the Daizon Open. I feel like I've been so negative this week, but I'm just so tired of the Daizon Open now. I'm ready to move on. And, maybe next week will be the final chapter of it, but I doubt it. I bet we've got 3 or 4 more chapters to go. I bet we end on the Last Day of the Daizon Open, Part 12. But this was fun. Robo going all out to be able to show Dorian that he has what it takes. Sure, that makes sense for his character, so it was fine. Finally, we'll end up with the lightning round this week. The Promised Neverland 72, call, 2 thumbs up. This was a great chapter. Moving into everything that happened with the farms, the elevators, William Minerva, James Ratry. Great chapter. Loved it. One Piece 892, threat confirmed. Really solid chapter. Sanji's back with the crew. Big Mom's after the cake. Fights are coming. Luffy's still finding Katakuri. Looking for some resolution there, but really enjoying it so far. My Hero Academia 168, The Strange Tale of Aoyama. I'm actually going to go ahead and give this one 2 thumbs up. It was a little weird, but we got there. We found out about Aoyama. We know more about him now. He and Izuku are friends. We're good to go. 2 thumbs up. Hunter x Hunter 371, Mission, 1 thumb down. Man, this chapter, I'm having such a hard time with this. 1 thumb down. I really want to like what's going on right now, especially with the Phantom Crew showing up, Crollo with the crazy eyes talking about how he wants to kill Hisoka. Yes! But I just don't care about a lot of these other characters, and we're just taking forever to get there, and that's Hunter x Hunter pacing. It's the way it's always been. But I'm just ready to go. Just want to move forward. Come on. We Never Learned 86, An Elder is Visibly X when an item was lost to the sea. 1 thumb up. There was some really good gags this chapter. I really enjoyed it. It was fun, and it ended with Best Girl and being in trouble, so he was going to help her. There was some fun, awesome moments. I really enjoyed the chapter for the most part, so 1 thumb up. Food Wars 248, What the Average Feel. 1 thumb down. Man, I want to see Ishiki versus Tsukasa, and I want to see Ishiki and Kinokuni Nene, but not at the same time. These things need to be separated. Don't mash them together like this. Man, we've been waiting for both of these for a while now. One a lot longer than the other, and the one that we haven't been waiting on as long as the one that we're getting right now. So we'll see. Maybe next chapter will pull it all around for me, but 1 thumb down for now. Bozebeats 3, Tokyo Beltway, Full Throttle. 1 thumb down right now. I don't know. I didn't like this chapter that much at all. I love seeing the Hyakyako, but seeing the comment made by Tamaki about the dragon, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I immediately could tell what might be the way the story's going in my mind, and I was like, that'd be the worst. The Bose Samurai and the bike flip were really cool, though. So, that was nice. Black Clover 142, Twilight, 2 thumbs down. What the heck is that reveal? Oh my gosh, I talked about it enough already. I'm not going to get back into it. I've made it very clear that I was not happy with this reveal. We'll move on. Act Age 2 First Job, 1 thumb up. It was good. It was fine. I really enjoyed it for the most part. The Back to the Future check was really good. Robot Laserbeam 42, Last Day of the Daizon Open Part 8. I'm so tired of the Daizon Open. I'm going to give it a dead even, because there were some good moments. Dorian thinking about his family. Robo deciding he wants to go ahead and go for it, but I'm so tired of the Daizon Open now. And I know it sounds like this issue of Jump, all I've done is talk about how story's got to get moving. But look at where we are in these arcs. It's the end of 2018 now. If we look at One Piece, we are still in Whole Cake Island. We're almost out. We can feel it. But I'm still enjoying the things that are happening enough that I don't feel like we need to rush. With Promised Neverland, we are almost out of the hunting arc, and we haven't been in it that long. The Hunting Grounds arc of Goldie Pond, we've got probably 7 or 8, maybe 12 more chapters, and we're done there. My Hero Academia 168, we're already in a new arc. We're good. Hunter x Hunter, we're still in this arc, and we've been in it for a while, and it's 2018 now, and granted, Hunter x Hunter's been on hiatus, but we need to get moving here. We Never Learned doesn't really have an arc-based structure, it has an issue-based structure, so it's a little bit different. Food Wars 248, we've been in this big tournament Shokugeki for a while, but it's the main plot of the series, so I'm not upset that we're still in this arc. I just want to see what I've been waiting for in this arc for a long time. With Bozebeats, it's too young to have arcs yet, so can't really say. Well, Black Clover, man, our guys are still, if you haven't forgotten, our guys are still fighting at the base of the bad guys. They're still attacking that base. We still don't even know if Copycat McGee is dead or not, and if Mario Leona has killed him. There's a lot going on there that is still happening, and we're taking all these detours, and I loved the detour with Goshen and everybody, but, man, this lick thing, we need to get through with this arc already. Act Age, again, is too young for arcs. And then Robot Laserbeam, man, we've been in the Daizon Open. This is part 8. Then we had the first, second, and third days. We gotta get moving. We gotta get out of the Daizon Open already. I don't want to sound like I'm just complaining everywhere, because I did have a lot of fun this week, but that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how we need to get past some of these arcs, is that you can't be bound for too long in an arc, or you start getting the Dressrosa problem that One Piece had. Where, yeah, we cared about a lot of those characters, and yeah, we got some great moments out of it. Senor Pink is still one of my favorite characters in all of One Piece. But towards the end of that arc, I was just ready to be done, and I didn't care anymore about the individual fights. And that's where some of this stuff is getting to, and we need to move forward a little bit. But with all that said, I'll get off my soapbox. I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Jump has to offer.